Welcome to the Year One Podcast. I'm Isaac.
And I'm Josh.
And let's get straight to it.
Let's get it.
So what's up, Josh? How you doing?
What's up, man? I feel really far away from you.
That's for the best.
Well, I don't feel safe over here by myself, but anyway. So, how was your week?
It's okay. Rough.
Yeah.
Slow.
Same.
It was fun though.
It's good. But yeah, basically what we talked about last time,
Yeah, let's get back to it. What were we talking about last week?
We talked about, are you a bully?
Is bullying okay?
Is bullying okay?
Yes.
Yeah. And we talked about that last week, so you can check that out.
Yeah. We talked about perspective. We talked about people having how you take it, how you give it.
Yeah.
If you think about it, that sounds funny, but that's up to you. But what about today, man? What are we talking about right now?
I think something I've been dealing with kind of the past couple of weeks. Honestly, my whole life. I think there's something I've been thinking about recently that I didn't notice. Mm-hmm. And it's really happened most of my life. Is not really understanding what comfortability is and the difference between being uncomfortable and comfortable with every situation. And I don't think I still really understand that. I think it's just all in perspective and what the situation is going on at a certain time. But kind of like, I thought it'd be interesting to just kind of dive into what makes you uncomfortable and is it a good or bad thing? Mm-hmm. And then what is something that you're comfortable with that could also be also a bad or a good thing?
Yeah. So like the landscape between comfortable and uncomfortable.
Yeah. Everything
in between. I guess this ties into what our first week was, last week was, but how, what's your why and why are you afraid? Yeah. Definitely ties into comfortable and uncomfortable. I think, really that's just based on what's happened in your life. Like what can be comfortable to me could be uncomfortable to you, but that's just like what you grew up with. That's who your parents were, what school you went to, what neighborhood you grew up in. I think humanity defines that as comfortable, uncomfortable. Like those things, just what people can be accustomed to or not accustomed to matters. But I think it's good we define, even for all the things we've talked about, it's good for that we define what comfortable and uncomfortable is to us.
Yeah.
So my question to you, just kind of to break us into kind of the surface of this topic, is like, what has, I guess like a good overview of like what has been comfortable to you in your life and what has been uncomfortable to you, and just like two examples.
Let's see.
Because like I said, we need to define first before we hop into it,
Like first off, I mean, my bed, can be pretty comfortable, No. No.
I was thinking something else.
I would say, honestly, financial security is something I strive for and want to have, and that's what makes me comfortable. However, when I do have it, I do feel secure in, making enough money per month, whatever it may be, I'm able to do a little extra or I'm able to save. I feel very comfortable. And so that can be good. I haven't seen that lately. It's been very just up and down with that kind of thing. So I think that makes me feel uncomfortable and not really feel like I'm in a secure place because I don't feel like I'm adequate, if that's the right word.
Okay.
Or successful. And that can really, I've seen it affect my lifestyle of just trying to chase money and, make sure I have enough.
Gotcha.
And that, I know that's a problem, and I don't want to be in that place anymore. And so that's one thing I've been noticing recently. And then also, too, as well as the people around me, I feel comfortable with the people around me.
Gotcha.
And it's very hard for me to go out and meet new people or find people that push me forward to where I want to go, because I'm okay with being with the people I'm with currently. And those two things are good, but they can also be a bad thing when I don't actually just continue to press on and do what it takes to get to the next level.
For sure.
But yeah, I would say those are two things. What about you?
I think comfortable for me, generally, I will define as I'm unguarded. Yeah. Because, we can talk about comfortable in, multiple, categories. Yeah. So, money, friendships, relationships, school, work. I'm comfortable when I'm unguarded. I feel free to think. I'm having fun. I'm not, looking over my shoulder for the next thing that's popping and dropping. I got distracted. So, my definition of comfortable is when I'm unguarded, free to think, just not watching out. Yeah. It's kind of like that creepy scene in the Thriller movie where it's an innocent girl's walking, or a woman's walking alone in a parking garage, and she's that's, to me, uncomfortable. Is you're always looking over your shoulder, you're insecure. Whenever you go somewhere and you don't know anything, you're insecure because you just don't know anything. You walk in a building and it's I'm not like these people. Yeah. So for me, uncomfortable is anywhere where I feel insecure, not prepared. I'm not having fun, which is not you don't always need to have fun, but that's just when I'm uncomfortable. Yeah. But yeah, when I'm comfortable, it's those situations where I feel free to think and say without being afraid of what's going to happen. So, because those can happen in a lot of categories, like money or a lot of stuff. So, that's what that looks for me. Cool. That's what I define comfortable and uncomfortable as.
So. No, I like how you said that, because, that can go into anything. And it's kind of a broad sense, which I can identify with, of not being in the right place makes me uncomfortable. And there's another thing that you can actually do with that, which I don't do all the time. But taking that uncomfortability and then, okay, how can I use this to elevate it where I don't feel uncomfortable anymore in a certain situation? Now, if it's something extreme, like you're about to be murdered or something like that, take that situation, and how can I get out of this? But it's a totally different extreme of uncomfortable. For sure. Cool. But say you're in a situation, your car breaks down, you could just, you could be pissed, you could be angry, but then you could spend all that time being mad that your car broke down and then not doing anything about it. And I'm alluding to this because this literally happened to me this past week. Yeah. And so I got into this mode where I was like, well, I'm just going to hang out around the house. I can't go anywhere. I can't make any money. I can't go to my job. I can't do any of this. And then I was like, no, I need to figure this out. I need to find a way that I can get to work, that I can make money, that I can figure out how to do that without the process of having a car, whether that means walk or find a person to take me or something like that. And so using that uncomfortable situation and learning from it. Not really getting out of that uncomfortability because it's still uncomfortable for me. My situation is still uncomfortable, but I've learned to use it for a positive outlook.
Okay, so question. When, for us, for everyone, for anyone, especially for us, when do you because I think this is a topic I wanted to bring up, just to talk about it generally. We don't have to get into life stuff. We can, but when do you seek discomfort, and when do you okay with being comfortable? Like, because in my opinion, sometimes it's like go seek discomfort, and then it's done in the wrong way. It's like Mufasa talking to Simba. It's like, don't go just look to pick a fight. Like, yeah, things are gonna happen. But just my question, very generally, in a general perspective, is like, when do you know to seek discomfort? Is it like let me go? Is it, like I want to go pursue, or like, is it intentional, unintentional? Just very generally.
I don't think I always know when or when not to.
Yeah.
It's a constant. Just life is a constant. I want to say battle. I hate when people say life is a battle.
Get your sword.
You know, like it's so. I don't know. It's just life is an uphill battle. No. I think I don't always know when to seek discomfort.
Okay.
Because my situations are always changing. I'm not really at a certain age where life is kind of, you never figure out life, but life is kind of, at that stage where you have this, you have, wife, kids, you're maybe retired, so you know what's next, just kind of just chilling. But I think it continuously seeking discomfort or just discomfort in general happens. And I don't know. I don't really think that there's really a answer for that. No, it's like a question.
No, yeah, I'm just asking like.
I think it is a good question of when do you do that, and I guess I could say when I do seek discomfort, it's when I have to. It's when I have no other choice. Hey, you are not going to eat this week. Hey, you're not going to pay rent this week, Josh.
Yeah.
You need to get up off your butt, go outside, and do something that makes you paper. Okay? So it's like, I don't know. And I think that's when I seek discomfort, is when my life is on the line, and I have to make ends meet.
Gotcha. Yeah. I think there's like a lot to that conversation.
Yeah.
Me and Wesley were talking about this the other day. Shout out to Wesley.
Shout out to Wesley. He's over there with the headphones on. Eric Decker actually couldn't be here this week. We miss him, but Wesley is a good replacement for now. Maybe.
So,
we'll see. I'm just kidding.
But we were kind of talking about this, like seeking discomfort. Andy Mineo actually has a song. Shout out to Andy. I want to meet you one day. If you ever see this, I would love.
Shout out to Andy.
I'm gonna meet you, and I'm actually gonna tell you to watch
Progress podcast.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna tell you to watch episode 3 of year 1. But he says in what's the song? No, that's right. He was actually no. His whole album is called Uncomfortable, and the first record on the album was Uncomfortable, and he was saying when you he just said when you get fat, you're not. Wow, what's the line? It's basically you get fat and you stop getting hungry, and like that's like when you get comfortable, you get fat, and then you're just not. And he wasn't being very literal. Well, he was being literal, but like in the sense of like in life. And so, I think seeking discomfort is good to do before you hit the end of the line. Are you looking it up?
Yeah, I was looking it up.
No. But yeah, I think it's a great line. It's a great song, by the way. If you've never heard Andy Mineo or listened to the Uncomfortable album, please go listen to it. But
when you start eating, you lose your hunger, then grow fat.
Yeah, it's very basic.
Yeah.
But that's like it's very simple, and anyone can extract what he's trying to say. But who's another person? Conor McGregor, a big name, big star, big person in the world.
Good old Irishman.
Yeah, he has an ad on YouTube, or just a YouTube video on his channel, where he's like, I get comfortable with the uncomfortable, and it shows him like getting ready for a fight, and it's just it's cool because fighting is very uncomfortable. Like you're getting punched in the face and in the gut and kicked, and like some people have literally been cut in the face, like they've been really bad, and like finding how to be comfortable with the uncomfortable is something I want to do, and I want to learn how to be.
Shout out to Isaac's mom.
Yeah, hey mom.
She's over there in the background looking.
I'm trying not to
through the
wave
window
because I'm in front of the camera. God, I'm so off the thought right now. But with that said, I just want to seek how to be comfortable with the uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And I want to learn how to do that as life goes on. Because you're definitely right. You can never be ready for a situation.
I don't think you can be ready, but we're always going to face it. So there's a good process for when it does come.
Yeah.
How do we deal with it?
How to have fun with it.
Yeah.
Like I'm about to have fun with these sponsors.
Yeah, speaking of sponsors.
We're going to have a word for our sponsors. Evan Colazzo with EC Creative. And then you have Marcus with Next Level Recording. You'll see his last name on the website. Don't even worry about it. But shout out to them. They helped us. They sponsored us. So, and then we have Wesley Hill and Eric Decker helping us out all the time, through and through. Thank you to all those people. And yeah,
thank you guys.
Those are our sponsors.
Appreciate it.
Mwah.
Keep the lights on.
Come send me money later.
Yeah, I know.
Back to what we're talking
Great,
about.
dude. I think seeking discomfort is a continuous process and a gradual growth in understanding how to seek discomfort.
Yeah, for sure. I had some other thought, but man, I think with everything, with humanity, with people, like to grow and get better, you got to get uncomfortable. And it's a lot easier said than done, because what's uncomfortable to me could be comfortable to you. And as far as people, one group of people will be like, I'm good. And another group of people are like, I'm not good. And there's got to be stuff we got to like, challenge each other on. And we talked about that last week. Like, how do you basically encourage and challenge someone without making them feel like crap? Yeah. And so I think that's also part of it. But yeah, making yourself uncomfortable can change your life for the good or the better. So
there's a YouTube channel that I really enjoy. It's called Yes Theory. I don't know if you've watched them. But that's their whole motto, is seeking discomfort. Like, it's literally their brand.
Yeah, saying yes.
And I wouldn't be surprised in the future if they actually trademark seek discomfort, like the word. However, currently, we don't have to worry about that, so we can say that in this podcast without having to pay them. But I think I just love their videos and what they do and what they talk about. And it's just three guys. What they live. Yeah, I think they do have a podcast.
I've never listened to a podcast. I would love to, though.
But I think they do a great job of expressing how to deal with those kind of situations. And what you want in life is like right in front of you. But there's this road of discomfort that it's going to take to get there. And so you have to go through that. But you can't go through that alone. And that's what's really cool about their... Now, they do crazy stuff. Like, they went to... went to the North Pole with the Iceman and, like, lived with the Iceman in, like, out in the middle of the wilderness, like, in the snow. And, like, just crazy stuff like that. Like, it's, like, zero below, dude.
I'm not doing that.
Like, I couldn't do that.
You can send me to Africa with lions.
And
I'll do that.
They tried to sneak into the McGregor and Mayweather fight.
Oh, yeah.
What else did they do? Oh, they had a party in their house. Yeah. They actually did come to Atlanta. Well, Amar did. He came to Atlanta because he switched lives with Callie. You know Callie.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
hey, Callie.
Hey, Callie. But yeah, so it's like it's cool to kind of their motto for that kind of stuff. It's just like the whole thing around it is you need people around you to build you up so that you can go forward through that discomfort. So I just think that's really cool. But
all right, the question here, simple question, like, what do you do when you're uncomfortable?
When I'm uncomfortable,
Yeah, just simple.
I leave the room. I
Okay.
I will sit there for a moment. It depends on who it is. But if I am really uncomfortable, I will make something up and leave. And I don't mean that, not necessarily, I don't think that's a good thing. But I'll be like, man, is it like, I think someone's calling me. Like, hello? Like, hey, how's it going? And I'll walk out.
Yeah.
Or something like that. Or
I would do that in high school.
or like it's just stupid. I don't know why I do it, but I've just noticed that when I feel uncomfortable, like there'll be a situation. Say I'm in a situation where I feel uncomfortable somewhere.
Yeah.
I will leave the place. I don't care if it's raining outside. I don't care if it's snowing. I will walk out of the building and leave because I just feel really uncomfortable. And then I don't know why. It's not a great habit. Mm-hmm. I should seek that to be in that and not fix the situation, but be okay with that issue. But that's something I'm working on. Yeah. And that's kind of why I wanted to talk about this, because I want to work on it.
Yeah. I mean, just to bring it up, like when I'm uncomfortable, I go play Xbox. Yeah. If I'm uncomfortable in a situation, like in high school, when you're walking in my high school, we had really long highways. Yeah, we had highways in high school.
Dude, that's a big high school, bro.
I know, it's huge.
Drive to high school. The next class. I was about to say
something offensive.
Third period has a traffic jam.
Yeah, but no, in high school we had really long hallways. Like, we had one big main hallway. Like, my high school was like 3 levels. But in some of the hallways early in the morning, I would go to school early to get work done or just to get to class early. And it's hard because before school starts, there's not that many people. And then if you knew the person, but like, I know you, but I don't know you enough because I don't want to talk to you right now. Yeah. So sometimes I'd be on the phone and pretend like, hey, as they're walking by. And it was just the dumbest thing.
No, dude, that's so good.
But the question that, like, I was just asking myself, thinking about this, was like, when things get uncomfortable, you get fake real quick because it's, or like you just don't want to deal with it. Yeah. So you just put some on. Like if someone just jumped in the bathroom while you were changing, it's like like that's happened in our apartment plenty of times. Yeah. But I was thinking about like why get fake, and not even in a negative connotation, because people put masks on and be fake to protect themselves. Like it's a protection method. Like I want to be fake right now because I don't want to deal with it. Mm-hmm. And that's natural. Like, I don't want to deal with trauma or distress or this conversation right now. And I think, like, even if I go play Xbox, sometimes when I'm uncomfortable, I go work out. Because I like working out. So when I am comfortable, I go work out. Or uncomfortable. I go eat. I go on my phone. That's a big one. Instagram, YouTube. Those are, like, my top 2 apps.
Yeah,
YouTube's
that's a really big one, yeah.
Yeah, but I was thinking, like, when things get uncomfortable, you get fake. And why do you get fake? Well, it's like,
it's a vulnerability.
This is too real for me to want to deal with right now. Like, I don't want to deal with this right now.
No one wants to be vulnerable.
No, man. Of course not. And like, even if you're watching freaking Blue Planet or Animal Planet, like if something happens, like you just watch the animals or fish. Like if something's uncomfortable or weird, they just dart out or they move or they attack, mainly run away. And us, we just go whoop and like turn. Like I think that's natural. Yeah. And I don't want to put that in a negative light because it's like, oh, you're fake. I hate the world for being fake. Like
many fake people.
Before we call it a sin and before we get cynical, like let's observe it first and dissect it before we go call it a sin or like make it a bad thing. But I think we just get fake because it's so hard to deal with. Yeah. In that moment, it's like, ugh. And that's why this whole like going to a broader part of this conversation, like getting uncomfortable is hard to deal with because it just forces you, like, no one wants to be real in that moment because it's hard. You don't know what to say. Yeah. You always think of the right words after you're done. But, that's why I think you need, just like with those huge ships, need the little like tug, whatever that boat's called, to pull it out into sea.
Tugboat?
Yeah, is that what it's called? Yeah. Okay, yeah. Or you just need those people in life. Like earlier today, I had a conversation with one of my mentors / leaders about my time I'm spending during the week, and he made a pie chart out of it. And it's like, this is how many hours you're playing the game, this is how many hours you're working out, this how many hours you're on Netflix, which was less than Xbox, but it was a lot.
Yeah.
And it made me uncomfortable. And I just, it's hard to want to deal with that. And I think personally, like, this wasn't a question, but just, you need people to help you do that. And that's not fun, But I think something I'm learning being 21 right now is you do it now, you do it later. Yeah. And it's not you just do it one time. You just got to, So that's something I was thinking about.
Yeah, I mean, going back to
thoughts on what I was talking about.
Well, going back to the vulnerability, no one wants to be vulnerable. That's something that I have a hard time doing. And in class, that is the one thing that my coach wants me to be.
What class?
My acting class.
Oh, I thought you were a scuba diver.
Yeah, I was part-time.
I got you.
Astronaut as well, but we don't talk about that. But stupid. But being vulnerable is really hard for me. It's hard for everybody. But that's the one thing in class that is continuously just smacked over the head with, just like constantly. Just hey, learn to be vulnerable and you will go far. People like to see someone on screen just let everything out. Just have everything's out in the open.
Right.
You're fully exposed.
It's entertaining.
I mean, you can be fully exposed on film, but
emotionally or physically.
But that's not the type of exposure I'm talking about.
Right.
But yeah, it's just being vulnerable will help me in my career, but also understanding that vulnerability helps you in life, and the people around you will see that, and I think more people will gravitate to you because they feel comfortable around you. Because when you're in the room of a bunch of people that feel uncomfortable and don't really know each other, and that one dude or that one girl walks in, and he's just like, I'm here. And it's not in an arrogant way or anything. It's just present, and is not worried about what people are thinking. You tend to gravitate, and I've seen those people in crowds. You just tend to gravitate to those people because they're just interesting. Yeah. And you're like, oh, and then you feel comfortable, and everybody starts to relax, and then everybody starts talking to each other. And it's just a whole landslide of things happens, and just being in just different networking events and in different groups and stuff, I've seen that, and I've noticed that's a key thing is vulnerability. Yeah.
So. With that, I think with vulnerability, the hard thing is lack of control. Yeah. Like when you're not in control, you get uncomfortable. Yeah. I think lack of control is tied to being uncomfortable. Like being uncomfortable is like a lack of control over the situation or whatever's happening. You don't feel control, so you get uncomfortable. And then below that or tied to that is like a lack of something, like a lack of knowledge. And then you get insecure. It's like you ever had a conversation with someone and they catch you on your heels and you thought you knew something. So you get defensive over what you don't know. Because so when someone like punches you in a conversation about something you thought you knew but you didn't, and then it's like, oh shoot, you freeze up, and then you try to defend something. You're like everyone in the circle is like, dude, you're wrong, like already, and then you keep defending yourself because
you're like walking down the hall. And just like, hey man.
Yeah.
Hey, you know something? What? Hey, my friend knows something about this. Yeah.
Yeah. Like that lack of control moment, you have a choice to decide, like whether to, like admit, like yo, like I don't know what I'm doing, like I don't know what I'm doing here, and really embrace the uncomfortable spot, or just fight it and look dumb while doing it, Yeah. And for me in my life, like you mentioned acting, like me, I haven't started yet, but I would love to start fighting, and that's
we could fight right now if you want.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm down.
You'd beat my ass.
But something that's, I guess I want to unravel with me, just like a little piece is like, I don't know why it's so hard for me to want to go start training. Because the actual fighting part, like I don't care if I get my butt kicked. I want to learn.
And that goes back to your why.
Yeah, for sure. And I think something that bothers me and I'm afraid of, I feel like I have to have my ducks in a row, which I don't have to before I go to a gym.
Yeah.
Like my finances need to be straight.
It's never
Everything
going
else
to be.
in life need to be straight before I go to the gym, because if I go to the gym and got other stuff to do, it's just gonna pile up.
Yeah.
So I think that's the spot for me where I can get uncomfortable. But you've already brought up acting, just like another thing. Like, what's something you feel like you could push to be uncomfortable, be better at acting? Like, because you're already in acting class, you're already being punched in the head by your coach
every day.
What's one thing you can push in as far as acting goes, whether it's like whatever?
Knowing myself, knowing my limitations, understanding my tics,
like emotionally or
like emotionally, what I do on the outside when I'm not fully giving it. Like, say I'm on a set and I'm not feeling it today, and I'm not in that right mindset. There's ways to switch that. There's exercises, but there's mental ways to switch that around. And that's something I'm learning right now. And that's where vulnerability comes in.
Gotcha.
And it's just being okay with the situation. Okay, maybe you had someone said something to you on set, or someone said to you something during the day, and I go to class, and I want to give it 150,000% in class. But I've already come into class knowing that I'm not going to do that. And so therefore the entire class, I'm just
set yourself up.
Yeah. And I set myself up to fail.
Yeah.
We set ourselves up for everything in life to fail when we choose preemptively that we're going to fail.
That's really good. I don't know how much time we have, but that's a huge, like,
we're solid.
Sabotaging yourself, like sabotaging your future.
Yeah, self-sabotation.
I heard something.
I don't even know if that's
recently,
a word, but
not to cut you off.
No,
but someone said it recently. I was listening to a podcast.
I don't know, Isaac. I'm pretty uncomfortable with you cutting me off for now.
All right.
Okay.
Deal with it.
I'm gonna leave.
No, I'm just kidding. But someone said recently that really stuck to me was when people don't feel like winners, they'll sabotage themselves before they get to the spotlight because they feel like they can't handle it. Like in football, every time I had a spot for varsity, I was like,
of success.
Like I did, like one of the years in high school, I got best offensive player of the year. Like I did good, but I was so afraid of the spotlight that when I got there, I crumbled. But back to what you're saying, like self-sabotage, like before you get to class, before you get to that moment, like diving more into that, like what are some of those thoughts? What does it look like?
I focus too much on acting, if that makes sense.
Okay.
I focus too much,
like too much on what you're
on performing, on what I'm supposed to do,
right.
And who I'm around, and how I need to act, and I need to make this look good.
Right.
There's no cameras around, but people are watching me.
Right.
I need to set an example.
Right.
In class, and it never comes out the way I want it to.
Right, and it takes away from the fun or the exercise.
Because as soon as I go into class and I start doing that, coach is like, she's like, you done messed up. So, but yeah, I think that's the big thing with that. And we're gonna have to wrap up soon. But that being said, what about you, man? Like, I know with fighting and everything, you are kind of already talked about it a little bit, but what are some things that might be holding you back necessarily? Or you've never said it out loud before, but you're now thinking, because we're bringing this topic up, because this is a random spitball of a podcast episode, but what are some of those things?
Well, like you said, we're about to wrap up, so I'm gonna keep it real short and quick.
That's fine.
You said something that I would love to touch on later next time.
Yeah.
But you said making it look good. Like, I feel like every time you want to make something look good, you start doing it for someone else, and then the thing flips, and now you're not doing it for fun. You're not doing it because you wanted to. It's like, for me, for fighting, it's just like a whole nother thing, and I'm like, man, I'm not making money. That's not something that can make me money right now, so I feel weird about doing it. Like doing something else that takes time and money that I don't have. I have time. but money. That's just something I'm insecure about. Not insecure. Everyone's insecure about money.
Yeah, everybody's insecure
I'm just
in general.
Things are low, and it's hard to see myself doing something else when I'm low on fuel. Basically, like I feel like I don't have enough fuel to even make it. As far as not very literally, but more so. Well. But like not even literally, but just as far as like life stuff, like all the pieces moving around. So with that said, there's a lot more in this conversation that we could revisit later, but I really liked just comfortable tying into critiques and fear and what's your why. They all kind of like loop together,
and that's what this podcast is, man. Is figuring it out. Why we're here, because we want to talk out loud and explain how we're gonna do what we're gonna do.
Digest our brain.
On
this table.
We don't really do this at all. I've noticed. I mean, we do it occasionally, but
we do it. But we just want to.
I think it's become more structured where we have time to now take an hour out of our day to just sit here and talk about it. So I'm enjoying this a lot.
That's good.
So,
well, thank you, Josh.
Anyway, thank you, Isaac.
Cool.
I can't do that well. So we're gonna cut it off here today. We just want to thank you for watching these podcasts.
Thank you.
If you're still watching, thank you.
Konnichiwa.
This is the Year One Podcast. I'm Josh.
I'm Isaac.
And you've been watching us.
So, what we were discussing. If Darth Vader had a wife, how would they kiss? They wouldn't.
He did have a wife.
When he's Darth Vader with the helmet on, G. Like, what if he had a wife in the later years?
Yeah, but then he takes off his helmet, though.
Yeah, and he hops in a tube bath. Like, he's got those, like, worm matrix-looking things hopping in his body.
I see what you're saying. So, like, if he had a wife after...
I'm just saying, how would they kiss?
He'd just take off the helmet real quick. He'd be like...
That's the real question. Like, why would you take over the... Why would you want to take over the galaxy as an empire? But, like, what are y'all going to do? Like, they just were destroying stuff.
He just wanted power.
Over what?
Because Anakin cut
like,
off
in the
his
older
legs.
movies, they didn't do anything else.
He was... Well, I just...
we can't even...
I just triggered
Obi-Wan.
Everybody on this entire...
Yeah, because Steven Spielberg did Star Wars. Good night.
Yeah, if you didn't catch that, that was on the first
She
podcast.
gone.
Yeah.
She gone.
Kill me now. I meant Obi-Wan. We'll just actually implement that back in.
I have to pee, so none of this matters.
Okay. You have to... All right. Well, I think we're done for the day. I've triggered too many people at this point. Goodbye.
Thanks for watching.